Hello and welcome to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 1. For the first time in forever, we are going to have an early game. This is going to be a best of two series between AlbumSheet and Bananas and Pajamas, and everybody showed up in the lobby 10 minutes before. What's happening, Mike Loris?
I have no idea. This is a monumental moment in the history of Dota. Like, I don't know if this has ever happened before, ever. Even Dota 1.
Honestly, I don't know, hoping that nothing else goes wrong, because that could be an omen of what's to come. But I don't know, it's looking good as it stands. The early draft is coming out from both teams. But as far as these bans, it's not looking too out of the ordinary. Like in Skyrath and Tinker being banned out in the first stage, pretty standard.
So, I actually haven't seen Bananas in Pajamas play. I'm assuming that's kind of a playoff of Ninjas in Pajamas. They, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, everything else team. But AlbumSheet, I definitely seen these players around. I don't think they've been playing under AlbumSheet though. These guys go through like a name change or something?
I think so. I've seen the players, but I haven't seen them under the name AlbumSheet. I checked their Join Dota profile before the game started, and they've only had a handful of games.
Yeah, I mean, Bignum, Chomi, Inquisitor, No Fear, Vovopane don't recognize, but yeah, these are all some fairly big names, I would say, and well, we actually have ourselves a draft, so enough about that. Tinker and Skyrath getting the boot a little bit earlier than usual, but Razor Batrider are going to be the first two picks for AlbumSheet, whereas Bananas, they're going to open up with the Brewmaster.
Yeah, Brewmaster first pick, especially when Doom as well as Skyrath are taken out in the first stage, is definitely really solid and will give them a decent amount of team fighting potential. But then again, AlbumSheet, they have their Mechanism Carrier as well as a great way to initiate the team fights with the Batrider already handled. A pretty solid opener for both teams. Shadow Shaman's still in the pool, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Bananas and Pajamas pick that one up, although there's plenty of options available.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman isn't that great at ganking Razor because of that unstable currents, but when you're having to deal with a Batrider with a lasso, then it's certainly very useful to have a very quick disable in the Hex, and really it doesn't get much faster than Hex once the Batrider does jump in for the lasso. So as long as your Shadow Shaman isn't the one getting pulled, you should be just fine. Though they are going to go in a different direction, going to pick up a secondary Strength hero as they now have Brewmaster and Tidehunter, so two cores right off the bat, and they're starting to build up a lot of team fight.
Yeah, these two heroes, whenever their ultimates are online, they're very hard to fight up into. And if the Batrider lassos them in, they're not able to burst them down, they could just be initiating for the enemy team if they pull back the Brewmaster or the Tide. And for now, really, the burst damage is fairly lackluster. Razor, he does a whole lot of damage, but usually it's sustained throughout the fight, and he doesn't hit very hard until he gets a long static link off.
You really don't want to be bringing back the Brewmaster or the Tidehunter pretty much ever. Like, even if you feel confident in your ability to burst them down, if you mess up, then suddenly you are in for a lot of hurt because, well, your team typically tends to clump around those heroes once they're lassoed, trying to kill them off, but that's exactly what Tidehunter wants, and we're going to see a couple supports getting the bans here. Shadow Shaman plus Earthshaker going to be kicked out. Wouldn't mind AlbumSheet picking up a Rubik. It would be a good hero against them, and it would also be a good hero for them in order to steal some big ultimates from the Brewmaster and Tide.
Reserve time.
Definitely, and as for Bananas and Pajamas, I'd like to see them pick up maybe something along the lines of Vengeful Spirit or Shadow Demon to deal with the lasso coming out from AlbumSheet. I don't know, I think they're pretty solid heroes alone as well, and with the Shadow Demon, they'd have other options as to what they're going to set up, but just as they're going for a standalone hero and not something along the lines of like a Mirana or an Invoker on top of it, I'd like to see the Venge a little bit more.
Yeah, Venge is the best hero to counter the lasso, I would say, versus Batrider, just because even if the Batrider has a BKB, you could still snap the lasso by pulling him back, just because, well, swap goes through BKB, whereas Shadow Demon, though he does have the Demonic Burge to go through BKB, doesn't actually behave as effectively for your team. So I think it'll be really smart for AlbumSheet to actually ban that hero out, just because it is such a great counter. But who knows what they're going to want to ban out, as Viper did get the boot in the last ban from Bananas in Pajamas. It is going to be the Faceless Void, who was slipping through the entire pool, and then Wraith King is going to be the pick.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see Faceless Void ignored until the second banning stage, but when he's there, they definitely will take him out. Wraith King, the first pickup for AlbumSheet, will give them a pretty solid support. I don't expect this to be farming for them, but it definitely could work out. If you put the Batrider towards the off lane, Razor in the mid, and then safe lane farm the Wraith King or go aggressive, I don't know. But I'd like to see the support a little bit better. I think he just functions more as a hero. On the side of Bananas and Pajamas, they will pick up the Shadow Demon, so not going to go for the Venge that we were talking about earlier, but still the disruption before he gets the BKB on the Batrider is going to be very good at locking him down. Bane, the pickup from AlbumSheet, kind of interesting to see that one. Not something I was expecting in particular. But this will give Bananas and Pajamas pretty much whatever hero they want to combo with that Shadow Demon.
Yeah, Bane's kind of a weird fourth pick for AlbumSheet. I want to say that they're going to go for something like an Invoker as their last, because or a Mirana, just because they have Nightmare now. They will be able to set up pretty much anything they want. Wraith King doesn't really need any setup, so that's pretty much a non-factor. Bananas and Pajamas, they can still go for the Vengeful Spirit and have the Shadow Demon Venge be the roaming supports for their team, and it'll be a fairly similar roaming duo compared to the Wraith King and Bane, so they could go for something like that, but yeah, Bane is... I don't really know if I like this Bane that much. He doesn't really have anyone to set up just yet. As far as roaming, he's really good, but maybe it's more of a pseudo-ban versus Bananas and Pajamas? I don't know.
I don't know, if they already have the Shadow Demon, I think going for the Bane is just a little bit lackluster, especially without anything big to set up. You can Fiend Script the Brewmaster and Tidehunter to just hold them in place, and they have quite possibly some of the best single-target initiation coming out from the Batrider as well as the Bane, but it just kind of feels out of place. I don't know, it'll probably be a little bit more clear where they're going with this pick in the last stage once they pick up their 5th hero, but as a standalone, Bane isn't the best.
Yeah, you gotta have someone to set up, and that's not there yet. And if Bananas and Pajamas had someone like a Lifestealer, then holy crap, it's a Zeus instead. Well, I was gonna say if they had someone like a Lifestealer, then Bane is, a pretty clear pick up there, because both the Enfeeble plus the Grip is just a pain in the ass for Lifestealer to chew through. But Bananas and Pajamas, they're going to go big in the Zeus. We saw a support Zeus the other day. I don't know if that's what they want to do. It might just be a mid Zeus.
I don't know. I think it is going to be a mid-Zeus. The Zeus pick kind of feels very interesting up against AlbumSheet, because if Batrider gets an early Blink Dagger, this Zeus's life is not going to be very fun, and he's going to be very reliant on having good positioning in order to get his damage off in the fights. But it looks like AlbumSheet are expecting this to be more of a support Zeus, and I've touched on it before, it kind of works like a Skywrath Mage, although he's not as strong a hero. He can zone out early on with the Chain Lightning, but Zeus, he needs his levels desperately in order to actually have a big game impact. And up against the lineup from AlbumSheet, I'm not really feeling that the Zeus is going to be able to do that much. Razor is going to be building the mechanism and presumably pretty tanky afterwards, and Bane's the one that's going to eat the brunt of the damage and be focused down consistently. I don't know, the Zeus kind of feels really weird. But with the Shadow Demon also, you can set up a lot of burst damage if you get the Disruption into Soul Catcher with Zeus. His full combo is pretty much going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I think that's the plan for Bananas and Pajamas. Just put someone in that bubble, put the curse on them, and then Lightning Bolt, as a level 1 skill, it does, a relatively high amount of damage, level 100, plus the curse. It's going to be hitting pretty hard, but hitting hard onto who? Batrider is fairly vulnerable, as is Bane, but Wraith King and Razor are going to get very tanky later on, especially once the Wraith King hits level 6. Again, I would like to see both teams pick up someone to make use of this setup. Zeus isn't really a hero that needs Shadow Demon partnership, because if you miss a Lightning Bolt, then you're doing something wrong. But they could definitely use the extra setup for the Disruption in order to set up for some other sort of skill, whether it's an Invoker or otherwise. I would still like to see Mirana or Invoker being picked up from really either of these two teams.
Yeah, for sure. It's still yet to be seen whether Zeus is actually going to be played as a support or as a core. I wouldn't be opposed to just another support to pair with that Shadow Demon as well, and they might go something along the lines of Lishrak or Kunkka. I don't know. It definitely could work out for them.
Kunkka would be really good for both sides. Again, just anyone who can make use of that setup, because right now both teams have it in spades, and usually it's you pick up the hero that needs setup, and then you pick up the setup, not the other way around. But it's going to be what looks like a troll from AlbumSheet. It's this is going to push Wraith King into a support role, and actually Troll Warlord's ultimate would be pretty handy here for the Razor. Like static link plus that much attack speed, it hurts a lot, and with the initiation they have from Batrider, they'll be able to focus down pretty much whoever they want really quickly.
And then with those pickoffs coming out from the Bane and Batrider, they'll be able to transition to towers with this Troll Warlord pick. Somebody that we don't see very often, but I definitely can see it working out for AlbumSheet.
5 seconds.
Whoa, okay, I just accidentally clicked Batrider's Flaming Lasso and then it opened a video. I don't know if that's new or whatever, but okay, it was really loud. But yeah, Troll Warlord can help AlbumSheet, just get those additional towers down. And Bananas and Pajamas, they do have some pretty good tower defense in the fact that they have a lot of team fight. And now going for a Slark is going to solidify Zeus's role in the support. But Slark is going to have, I think, a tough time in this game. He's going to have to deal with a lot of stuff being thrown his way.
Yeah, for sure. Shadow Demon's decent setup for the pounce, and they might be able to get off to, I don't know, a good advantage early on, but they definitely have ways to keep this Slark in check. With Enfeeble on Slark, he's not going to be hitting very hard. They have great ways to hold him in place, as long as they catch him out when he doesn't have the Dark Pact going.
So Bananas and Pajamas, they have kind of a weird thing going on in that Tidehunter and Brewmaster want to have super decisive fights. They want to burn their ultimates and then have that be the end of the fight. Whereas Slark, though he is okay with that, he kind of excels when the fights are more hit and run. So he wants to be jumping in, killing someone, then leaving to regenerate with Shadow Dance, and then rinse, repeat until all the enemies are dead. It could work out for them if they take really long, sustained fights. Brewmaster's okay with that as well. But going up against a Razor and the Wraith King, taking these long, sustained fights is going to be a little bit risky, but we'll see if that actually pans out for them, as all the lanes are being assigned right now. For Bananas and Pajamas, we have XN Gray playing the top lane Tidehunter. He's going to possibly be joined by Lizard's Shadow Demon, though they're probably going to go down towards bottom. Shiva's going to be on the Brewmaster. Farm with me is farming mid as Zeus. Okay, I like it. It's a support Brewmaster, though. Slark is going to be the last one, being played by Roy.
And on the side of AlbumSheet, we are going to have Ink Visitor playing on the Razor. The supports are going to be Bane, played by Bignum, and Wraith King, handled by Vovapane. And then the mid hero will be Troll Warlord, taken up by Chomi, and the offlane Batrider will be handled by No Fear.
So we didn't actually explore this possibility that much in the Brewmaster playing support and the Zeus playing mid. Of course, mid Zeus versus Troll Warlord would be a pretty good one for Zeus. The base damage deficit is kind of a pain in the ass, but Arc Lightning plus early bottle means that you're going to make up for that. And also, Brewmaster is a hero that actually can benefit a good deal by having Disruption set up, because he has to wander in real close for that Thunderclap. And if you could get that slow off with the Slark in combination, you could very easily kill heroes. Like, I don't really care what hero it is, they will go down.
Yeah, and once Brewmaster gets his level 6, he's going to be pretty much the same hero if you're playing him as a farming hero or as a support. I think the biggest difference is going to be that Shiva's Blink Dagger timing is probably going to be quite delayed, but they'll still have that teamfight ultimate, and when you have a Tidehunter to start the initiation off, the Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster isn't the most important. Although, X and Gray might be in a little bit of trouble here as Wraith King picks himself up an Invis rune, but nobody else is in position, and he's playing defensively enough for now.
Yeah, he also has a Stout Shield, so even if they do jump on him, he's going to have a lot of health and a lot of damage block. It's going to mess with Kraken Shell a little bit down the line, but hey, keeping yourself alive for the moment is always going to be very useful. Batrider is getting zoned out pretty heavily down bottom in the meantime, so looks like both of these offlane heroes are not going to be enjoying themselves that much. Now, fortunately for both of these heroes, they both have contingency plans, and that Batrider can go into the jungle, as can Tidehunter. They just stack up a couple of creeps and then Firefly or Anchor Smash them down. Shiva's going to find No Fear, and, well, nothing's going to happen just yet. Bignum trying to get a little bit of dewarding action going, and he doesn't see it? What's going on?
Well, the vision range of Sentry Wards is very limited, and it might just be out of it. I have no idea. That's very peculiar.
I mean, the Observer Ward across the river sees it.
Yeah.
And the Sentry Ward sees it, but he's just leaving it there?
Next level dewarding.
Is it even called dewarding if you don't kill it?
It's ward scouting. I don't know. He's just leaving it there so that they know that the Tidehunter has the vision, but without giving up the fact that they placed a sentry. Although with the ward there, it's pretty obvious that he placed it. I don't know. That's...
Is it worth 100 gold to send a message? That's the real question.
I would say no. I think getting the extra little 50 gold bounty as well as denying that vision would be a little bit better, but for now, Shiva as well as Lizard are going to smoke up, going towards mid. They have Batrider also here. Not exactly sure what No Fear is going to try to accomplish. Looks like he's just going to back off towards his jungle. He does have a level 2, which makes it a lot easier for Batrider jungle, although it's definitely not the fastest right now, and they don't have any stacks set up just yet.
Shiva and Lizard actually just smoked up again. I don't know if their first smoke timed out or whatever, but they're just going to go for a round 2 in the smoking. So burning 2 smokes is usually going to result in 2 kills. This time, not as much. It might not even result in 1. Chomi is in a good amount of trouble, and Batrider might be jumped as well. Though these two level 1 heroes versus level 3 Batrider, I don't know if they have enough damage to do this. Batrider is going to be just fine. That's 2 smokes down the tubes.
Yeah, and Shiva and Lizard also using a lot of time that could have been better put to use, as their bottom lane's been completely abandoned. They could be pulling, they could get some experience that way. I don't know. Speaking of spokes, the other side of AlbumSheet are going to put one to use on Bignum and Vovapane, wrapping around onto the Tidehunter. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit more effective, and even if it's not, they only used one. They're getting the big wraparound on X and Grey, and the Link's going to start out with the Nightmare to secure more damage. They'll follow up with the Wraithfire Blast here, and I think X and Grey is going to die, as we're probably going to have a pause as the Zeus is disconnected, but Tidehunter is pretty screwed.
Yeah, I don't see Tidehunter getting out of here at all. He doesn't have the Anchor Smash debuff on anyone, it seems, and Razor stealing plus 84 is going to kill him in, I think, this next hit. If, no, maybe one more, but he's dead anyway. Farm With Me is doing okay in the mid lane, but Troll Warlord really hasn't had to deal with the Zeus burst just yet. The Zeus actually has gone for 2 points in Arc Lightning. Fairly uncharacteristic, as Lightning Bolt is obviously going to be your priority for 99% of the time. It lets you harass the Troll Warlord, and Arc Lightning, even though it is stronger, is in the end just fueling the Magic Stick for Chomi. So Farm With Me is not doing that great versus this Troll, and he should be getting a better time a little bit later, but it will be a lot later.
Yeah, Troll a hero that wins his lane pretty convincingly in most situations, especially up against melee right-clickers. Zeus is not going to be filling that role. But yeah, with the 80 base damage on Troll Warlord and Zeus having no deny mechanisms, Troll should have a pretty decent lane, especially, as you said, with the Magic Stick already.
Alright, so unfortunately for the Tidehunter, he is going to go down, but fortunately for him, he does buy Boots of Speed, and he doesn't actually have that much gold to lose. He could buy another branch or something before he goes down, maybe a Clarity. No Fear, in the meantime, has hit level 3. It's almost level 3 on the Tidehunter, but he's just going to happily be jungling, as bot riders usually do. Of course, this means Slark is going to have a 1v0 lane, but I think Slark is going to be perfectly okay with that. It means he can get his boots up, he can get pretty much as many early game items as he possibly wants, whether it's a drum, power treads, or whatever, or just go straight for something like a Blink Dagger Shadowblade.
Yeah, I don't know, this early lane situation is looking okay for AlbumSheet, especially if they get this first blood on the Tidehunter, which is pretty much guaranteed at this point. Ink Visitor, after picking up this kill, should probably pick himself up a Basilius and then work towards his mechanism if he wants to go for that item for his team, which I definitely think is going to be his choice. As for Chomi's item progression, what do you think the Troll's going to be building?
Well, Troll's a hero that we don't really see all that often. The couple times I have seen him recently, he has been the one going for more of the tanky mech kind of role. Play him, as far as itemization is concerned, very much so like a Viper, except without Aghanims, of course. But if Troll Warlord wants to go for that, it wouldn't be too bad for Ink Visitor either. He could always go for upgraded boots into drums or something like that. And though he won't be as tanky because he won't be wielding the mech will still be purchased in quite a fast rate because the Troll is farming very well. So whether it's Razor or Troll who picks up that mech, I don't really think there's going to be that much of a difference.
Yeah, probably not. And, well, now the two supports coming out from Bananas and Pajamas are reserved to go into their jungle, get some stacks up, it seems. Maybe get a pull or two off. But yeah, Lizard as well as Shiva haven't been able to make good use of their time for the first couple minutes of this game.
They are just zeros across the board. No kills, no assists, no last hits, no denies. They haven't even pulled a single time, I don't believe, so these two supports are going to be fairly useless. I said before that Shadow Demon and Brewmaster is a great roaming combination. Well, that only works if you actually roam into a lane where there is someone that you could kill. That hasn't happened yet, and they've burned 2 smokes, so just with that and the wasted consumables, that's a lot of gold down the drain for these already poor supports, and since they're not pulling and not getting kills, and the fact that AlbumSheet's supports are, well, at the very least going to be getting some kills, assists, or something up on top lane, the Bananas and Pajamas supports are going to be largely irrelevant. Brewmaster can kind of overcome that once he hits level 6, but I don't even know if that's going to come fast enough.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. We're probably going to look at a Brewmaster. It's not going to get his level 6 until after 10 minutes, and at that point it's still going to be a relevant ultimate, sure. But it's not going to be as impressive as I don't know, maybe something along the lines of a Sand King. If you're going to play passively, maybe pick up that hero instead so that you can actually abuse the jungle a little bit more effectively. Shadow Demon is always going to be semi-relevant up against the Batrider, being able to defensively disrupt one of his heroes or disrupt the Batrider, depending on the situation, as well as offering the Purge. But the Purge isn't going to come for a long time, and right now Shadow Demon is just a walking disrupt.
Yeah, support Brewmaster is always risky in this regard, just because if you have a great early game, then you could completely overcome the weakness of a support because you'll get Primal Split and eventually get the Blink Dagger. But if you have a bad early game like we're seeing right now, you're going to be completely useless. Clap level 1 is a great slow and everything, but it's nothing to write home about, and looks like the Zeus has finally decided to return. So we're going to see who's going to get this kill onto X and Gray. I think AlbumSheet have enough flexibility here to just give it to Ink Visitor.
I think so too. I think you just let, like, Vovapane follow up this auto attack and then have Ink Visitor finish off with one crack of the whip. Yeah, so as soon as that unpauses, I think Ink Visitor is going to get the extra first blood gold, but let's see.
Or Bignum is going to brain zap and kill steal it. No.
Oh no, that would be very funny, but in the end, Zeus... Oh, wait, what was that? In the chat, where is my HP? I have no idea, honestly. Not sure what he's talking about, but Tidehunter is going to give up the first blood. It was a very extended death, and unfortunate for the Tidehunter, you're just kind of sitting there, like, I know I'm gonna die once this game unpauses, but Excellent Great gets back to the lane, and as you said, didn't lose any gold, or very much gold at all. He is a low-level hero, and even then, he only had like 60 in his bank.
The full-on dramatic kill, slow motion, ultra slow motion, but I think Farm With Me was just talking about the fact that he probably disconnected full health, and then he reconnected with some health because Troll Warlord was doing whirling axes, shenanigans, and whatnot. Zeus is now level 5, so he's able to put out some decent damage versus this Troll. Like, he chunked him down pretty hard, but he's going to have to cut through first Magic Stick and then this bottle that he is crowing back to the base. So Farm With Me is closing into level 6, but unfortunately for the team, Tidehunter is not there. So if they have Ravage and Thunder God's Wrath, they could look to force fights very, very early on because the Batrider currently doesn't even have a lasso, doesn't have anywhere near a Blink Dagger. But that's not really going to happen. So this Zeus is going to have a lot of weight to carry, as will the Slark, really, because the rest of their team, they're just not doing well at all.
Yeah, they've used a lot of time to give this Slark pretty much the best possible laning situation. The Batrider is nowhere in lane, and Roy's going to be going for a hand of Midas. I'm not a huge fan of this pickup on the Slark this game. I would think he needs to be a little bit more active than going for the Midas. I would have liked to see maybe Power Treads into Blink a little bit better, and if he wants to go for it and is part of that crew that really likes it, maybe Shadowblade instead of Blink.
Super late game Slark is certainly scary. He's very difficult to kill, especially if you get something like an Eye of Scotty where he has just extra bulk, and Shadow Dance will always give him that nice regeneration, which is, by the way, percentage based, so even if you have a lot of health, you will be regenerating, well, even more health as you wait, but that's going to be a late game Slark versus a late game Troll Razor with Batrider initiation, and a very, let's say, poorly scaling Brewmaster since he's not getting anything, so they are trying to take it into the late game, but I don't know if that's the best decision for them. I'd rather see the Slark pick up an early game item and then try to make some aggression happen.
Yeah, I think that's usually the best way to get Slark to scale is by getting off of those kills. And well, it's a moot point as he does have it completed at a good time, and sometimes it's really hard to pass up that pre-6-minute Midas when you're free farming in a lane. And, well, speaking of 6-minute Midases, we're going to have one on Ink Visitor, so double Midas. If they go for the mech on the Troll, that definitely can make up for that little bit of lack of mechanism timing, but yeah, I don't know, Razor is going to be angling for the late game as well. Maybe after seeing the Midas on the Slark, but yeah, they are going to go on mid, with starting out with the disruption on the target here of Farm With Me. It's going to be Wraithfire Blasted as well, and the right-click damage is going to come through, and they'll be able to secure themselves a kill on the Zeus. Courier, it's kind of standing there. Will it be brought down by that double damage Tomi? No. In the end, it'll be able to fly away, not going to be able to get another peak of vision at that bunny, and, well, a good rotation coming out from AlbumSheet.
Super nice, super well-coordinated gank from the AlbumSheet side. Just very easily Nightmare into Troll with double damage plus Battle Trance. Like, Zeus is not a tanky hero, and, well, against double damage Troll, it's certainly not going to happen. But Lizard looking to make something happen as they do put the Troll in the bubble this time. The Curse will completely whiff. Lightning, I don't know if it missed or hit, but Chomi will barely escape. The Batrider is actually the one to die randomly in his jungle due to the Thunder God's Wrath. So, accidental kill, but kill nonetheless, I guess.
That is so terrible for the Batrider. I mean, probably something he should have anticipated. Like, Zeus is level 6 at this point, and I probably shouldn't be this low. But yeah, just something you're not used to playing up against, and I don't know, it worked out a lot better for Bananas and Pajamas than I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, they get a kill, which is... that was the goal, right? Get a kill, and Batrider, unfortunately, didn't realize that Zeus was level 6, or Chomi didn't let him know that he was being aggressed upon, so unfortunate for the Batrider. And now Roy is right on top of him. Looks like he missed the pounce, and now he's going to get dragged right back in the tower. He has Shadow Dance, so he should be completely fine. However, Batrider is not going to chase it out. So Slark is going to escape alive, but X and Gray might not be as lucky. They have the static link, only level 2 still. Wraithfire Blast to follow up. Level 4 Plasma Field is available, and this Tidehunter taking a truckload of damage. Anchor Smash saving him for a little bit of it, but Plasma Field is a pretty good nuke. Bane somehow slips in the last hit, but it's another kill on the Tidehunter, and then shortly after, it'll be a kill on this top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, with the Tidehunter dead, there's nothing that Bananas and Pajamas can really do to defend against that. Their heroes are fairly lackluster when it comes to counter-pushing. And Tidehunter giving up 2 kills, he's at level 5, he needs that Ravage very badly, so he can actually do something around the map. Razor is going to be the one picking up the mechanism for his team, and after a couple of kills going his way, as well as the first Blood Gold, he's going to have Hand of Midas as well as the 2 mechanism components before 9 minutes.
Alright, so if we're going to have a mechanismed Razor, then I think Troll Warlord's probably going to want to go for a smashy build, as it does go straight for Farm With Me, opening up with the Wraithfire Blast plus the Whirling Axes. The damage from Battle Trance is intense, and that's going to be another kill for the Album Sheet side. Troll Warlord could just go for very basic drums into Aquila kind of build, although Ring of Basilius is up on Razor already. I don't really know. The Troll Warlord, the beauty of the hero is that you can pretty much go for whatever item that you want, and it'll work out decently. Like, he could go for a Desolator, he could go for a Maelstrom, he could go for a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger. Pretty much anything will work.
Yeah, I don't know, it's all based on personal preference and what they feel that they need in this game. Yeah, we'll have to see. Tier 1 tower down in bottom, it's been left alone, and it hasn't taken that much damage from the Slark. He hasn't been able to pressure it very well, but for now, it is going to drop.
What do you think about possibly getting a Pipe for Troll? Because we mentioned he usually, or is occasionally the one to get the mech. Pipe is a kind of similar item, and against the Zeus, against the Tidehunter, against a Brewmaster, it might be a decent way for him to go if he wants to play that defensive role, because he has a Hands of Midas on Razor, so they're going to have late game scaling one way or another.
I think I'd like it. It would be a pretty solid item for him, but Troll World is going to go for a Vladimir's Offering for his team, it seems.
Shiva is in a crap ton of trouble. He saw an invisibility rune, but unfortunately, Novopain was just fast enough to grab that one and taunt him with a little bit of invisible body blocking. Here comes Farm With Me. Does have Thunder God's Wrath, but Chomi's going to bottle up after taking the brunt of the Lightning Assault. Novopain still invisible with the Wraithfire Blast available, looking for that Zeus. That's not going to happen just yet. However, Chomi's not that healthy. If they get a nice stun onto Farm With Me, they can kill him off before he gets any lightning off, but it's going to be X and Gray who's going to be in serious trouble as the Bane is wrapped around. Both Farm With Me and Tidehunter are in a little bit of a sticky situation. Novopain's Invis rune, though, is running out, and this could be the death of the Zeus.
Farm With Me is playing back enough, and it looks like Wraith King is just going to back off before his invisibility rune wears off. Razor's put a lot of damage on this tier 2 tower up in top. The Tidehunter hasn't been able to do anything about it, and well, they're grouping up there with Shiva as well as X and Gray, who does have the Ravage. They're looking to make it go. They have the Zeus ulti as well. X and Gray's trying to get in range for us. He can't drop the Ravage right now. They're just too fast, and they're going to be able to run away to safety.
This is a Tidehunter with only brown boots, no points in Gush. The Brewmaster does have boots and Drunken Haze, but it's not the most intensive slows. And Lizard teleported in for that, so that's another 135 gold out of the pocket of the Shadow Demon. But he doesn't have boots either, so there's no way he's going to land a Disruption. It was a very, really poorly orchestrated attempt at a gank, but it's a gank that should be attempted, as Roy does have a Blink Dagger. He's going to jump right into Chomi. Novopain is going to think about Wraithfire Blasting, but unfortunately can't on the Shadow Dance target. Troll Warlord is going to get dropped due to the Lightning of Zeus. That's going to be a very easy kill, and Slark, finally making his first rotation, has quite a bit of gold now. After the Hand of Midas picking up a Blink Dagger 12 minutes in, he did have complete free farm, so it's kind of understandable, but yeah, he's looking to make some action happen, and I like it.
Yeah, definitely. I think he could have been able to do that, like, 5 minutes earlier if he went for Blink and Power Treads first, but I don't know, making his presence felt, and I think that's what the Slark needs to be doing. Roy needs to start being involved in these kills, and he's well on his way to doing that. Razor's still beating him in the net worth department with a completed mech treads as well as Hand of Midas and Basilius. Inquisitor is stacked as they go down in mid. Bovapane's going to lose his ultimate to start things off. They're TPing in the Troll Warlord is on the backlines. They do have a Batrider who has spent his lasso on a target. They weren't able to net themselves a kill with his farm would be going to be bounced back by the flame break. They're trying to focus him down. The Wraithfire Blast is going to go on Lizard instead. They will be able to kill on the Zeus, and now the Shadow Demon going to fall in the flames as well as with the extra attack speed. 2 kills going the way of AS, and now the tier 2 tower goes the way of Ink Visitor. A big win for them around the map.
Very fortunate timing of that battle trance being used to. Oh, the puppy paws is real in the bottom lane, but the battle trance being used to both fight and take down a tower. It's usually just one or the other, but if you get both, then that's fantastic for AlbumSheet. They are going to be very, very far ahead, as I'm pretty sure they will also be able to take down this tier 1 tower. Troll Warlord doesn't have much fervor, but that's going to be fine. He's still putting out quite a decent amount of damage, and Roy, though he is here, he could technically go for a defense. The only person he could realistically kill is this Wraith King, and he doesn't have Shadow Dance. Oh, he does have Shadow Dance, so he could actually go for this one. But I think on the bottom lane, we're going to see some action as Brewmaster. He does have a split, but if they Brain Sap and Plasma Field correctly, they could burst him down. There you go. Beautifully done.
Yeah, I don't know, that's the second time we've had a pause where one hero just gets blown up immediately after it comes back. We have a TP in from the Tidehunters, the jump in comes up from Roy, he's going to go into No Fear, the Ravage is going to connect out on 2, and Bovapane looks like he's going to try to TP out. Will he be able to make it out successfully? It looks like he will, and he will, but yeah, still 1 kill as they push in the tower. It did cost them Ravage, and it's unfortunate that the Wraith King did survive for Bananas and Pajamas. I don't think that AlbumSheet are going to be too heartbroken that their Batrider died, as he has pretty much the farm he needs to be effective. But still, Bananas and Pajamas defend their tier 1 tower as well as get a kill.
And that's a Ravage being burned. Like, you would expect for one hero only to die from the first Ravage is pretty okay, but Big Num is going to be in a little trouble. He runs into the Slark, and this Slark, after finally leaving the lane, is finding kill after kill. I don't think Big Num's going to escape. He's not. He's going to get clapped down to the Brewmaster, and Roy going to blink forward for more. Who's going to be? It's going to be No Fear, though the blink from the Batrider does dodge the jump forward from the Slark, but Slark leaving the lane and instantly getting pretty much 3 kills in the span of 2 minutes. Yeah, this is the power of a snowballing Slark. With a Hand of Midas, he will get even more. So even if he doesn't get these kills, he'll be fine. But No Fear in the meantime. He is smoked up in the jungle area. Can they bring down this Brewmaster before he splits? They're going to drag him back. They have another stun. The burst damage might be there. It's going to be close. Yes, with the Flame Break, adding that additional knockback stun, they will kill off the Brewmaster. And Chomi instantly going to the Roshan Pit afterwards. Has a double damage rune. That's his second one. You can use Battle Trance, is just going to go to town on the big guy. This is going to be an undetected Roshan from Bananas and Pajamas. Even if they do know about it, they have bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah, 10 seconds till Zeus ultimate is used, so even if they drop that immediately as it comes off of cooldown and expect Chomi to jump in here, although it's doable, it's not something you expect, and I don't think he'd be able to get away with it at such a good time without that double damage rune, and with... Yeah, they might have gotten vision of the DD being picked up, but I don't think they know that Chomi's in the Roshan pit, as they're not even going to try to contest it. He'll pick up the Roshan, and his team picks up the tier 1 tower down in bottom. All across the map, AlbumSheet have been able to get tower after tower, and even though the last couple of fights have looked okay for Bananas and Pajamas, the kill score is not in their favor either.
They have crushing initiation advantage too. They're going to catch Roy. They have a Flame Break. It's not going to be used just yet. 30 seconds off on the lasso, so once they have that, then they're going to look to fully initiate, but they don't even need the Batrider to do it at this point, because the Wraith King has actually picked up a very quick Blink Dagger for himself. He's 0, 0, and 8. Everywhere where the Wraith King goes, kills seem to follow. Roy's going to jump in onto Big Nim, however. This is going to be a very unlucky Bane. He does Nightmare himself, try to stay alive. He does get a Brain Sap out, but now the Thunder God's Wrath, X-Ing Gray, does have a Ravage soon, and if he hits it, it'll hit onto literally everyone. There it is, Ravage onto 3, with an Anchor Smash onto 2. The Razor still up in the air with the ultimate active, zapping down everyone. Roy on the run. He's going to go down. Lightning Bolt onto Chomi, plus a rock. This Troll Warlord will die, but that's only the Aegis. He's completely fine with that. Bovapane's trying to run away, does not have a reincarnation. Troll is going to respawn. Inquisitor still alive, got sent up into the air 2 or 3 times in that fight. It looks like for right now, AlbumSheet, they are going to limp away with the rest of the heroes. They get the Slark, but the Ravage and the Thunder God's Wrath proving to be a little bit difficult for AlbumSheet to overcome.
I definitely think that went better than it could have for AlbumSheet. All considered, they only lost 2 kills as well as the Aegis. The Batrider almost died, but was able to just skate away at the top. And now they're going to get a kill on the, Brewmaster, and probably take this tier 2 tower to boot. So AlbumSheet, despite not winning that last engagement, are still going to come out on top as far as map control.
And Batrider, because he didn't use a lasso in the last fight, is going to look to initiate onto Roy, but Roy's going to jump forward first. No fear, in a little bit of trouble now. He doesn't have enough mana for a lasso. In fact, Lizard has arrived for the Demonic Purge into Razor. One more Plasma Field, though, will not kill off Roy, but he's stuck in the trees for a little while longer. Chomi going to town onto everyone, going to change his focus to farm with me. The range attacks and the Anchor Smash not doing enough to save the Zeus, and now XNGray is dropping very low himself. He's going to get brought down. Chomi going to jump down one more time, but the mech is going to save him for a little bit more, plus the Nightmare. Roy is going to get denied so hard. Shiva is arrived, but that's not really where you want to be, Shiva. He's going to get hit with the Wraith Fire Blast. Going to get a clap on Chomi, but he's completely surrounded. He's going to go down, and also Dvopain is chasing down Lizard. Has another Blink Dagger Wraith Fire Blast. There's the Wraith Fire Blast. Will annihilate that Shadow Demon. Roy has arrived into the fight again, but it's 1v5 right now. AlbumSheet getting kill after kill after kill. This is getting out of control for Bananas and Pajamas.
It really is. The Blink Dagger's coming in huge for AlbumSheet. They're just running circles around Bananas and Pajamas. One after another, they just kind of got caught out alone. And despite AlbumSheet all being low, the Slark wasn't able to convert that into anything, as he had so much damage stolen by the Razor. 70, I believe, and with 70 damage stolen, the Slark can't do anything.
Maybe if he has like enough time to get himself 30 Essence Shift stacks, he'll be able to do some damage, but that's not going to happen when you have a Razor whipping you down. And Razor is going to be going for, well, a completed BKB plus Aghanim Scepter components. This Razor is outrageously farmed, and the scary thing is, the second place is going to be held by Troll Warlord, who is also outrageously farmed. They're going to go for Dvopain. For some reason, in the middle of nowhere, he's going to try to teleport away, and he will succeed in doing so. Oh, the Thunder God's Wrath going to catch him in the base, but that's only his reincarnation, so, you know, not too bad there. But Troll Warlord looks like he's actually going to be going for a Manta style. What do you think about this item for Troll?
It's okay. It'll allow them to push, although the illusions don't get the extra attack speed from Battle Trance. I don't know, who'll be able to chase effectively with it. I think it's an all-around solid item. Is yeah, they are going to go down with the split onto Bignum. He's going to be stunned up, but the Brain Staff going to keep him pretty alive. Inquisitor is being focused down by all the minions, but it just doesn't matter. They get a lasso on the backlines onto the Slark, and they're going to be able to pull him back in as they finish with the Shadow Demon towards the north. And now, oh, Fiend's Grip onto the Brewmaster. He's not going to be able to go anywhere as he comes back from all of his minions. In the end, 3-for-0 in the favor of AlbumSheet. Yeah, it's just not pretty. I don't think it really matters what Troll Warlord is going to buy, honestly, but it's going to tank up Chomi and just be a solid item.
I would have liked to see a Desolator in this particular game, because killing towers is going to be the name of the game, and Manta Style does help in that a little bit with the illusions, but when you have a Razor hitting this hard, plus Troll Warlord himself, getting that minus armor in the tower is going to be huge, and they're just going to go for it, crack the high ground, why not? They don't have a lasso, so this could go a little bit sour for them, but there's really no initiation from Bananas and Pajamas outside of a Tide Blink Ravage, which is now up. There's teleportation in from Roy, going to catch Dvopain with that pounce, and there's Ravage going to hit onto absolutely everyone, but is there enough follow-up? Dvopain going to lose his life, but they're focusing now on the Slark. Slark is down, and Inquisitor sitting the BKB with his ultimate up. He's going to whip down Shiva. XNGray will barely slip away. Chomi, though, going to go straight for Farm with me, who will get hit with a Thunder God's Wrath. The Zeus will propel everyone back for now, but Inquisitor still going for it, has no fear. Going to get Anchor Smash down in the back end, but Brain Staff for Bignum going to make that 1-for-1. Inquisitor now going to try to go farm with me. That's going to be a complete team wipe for AlbumSheet. Their Razor is still alive, has finished Aghanims in the midst of that, and there's 10 seconds till Bananas and Pajamas have anybody up. This might be Rax's, although they're going really, really slowly.
Yeah, I think they're going to back off after getting a little chip onto the ranged barracks, but with the BKB, Razor didn't care about anything. And I mean, he was outrageously farmed a couple of minutes ago, and that hasn't changed. Oh, with the Battle Trance, they might be able to take this melee barracks. It might cost Chomi his life here. In the end, the curse isn't going to land onto him, and Shiva's not going to be able to commit, and he will back off. Honestly, probably could have kept on auto-attacking that and taking the barracks, although that would have been a dieback from your troll, and probably not worth it.
Yeah, and even if they don't get the Raxes, it's not a terribly huge deal. Unfortunately, the Troll was focusing the melee Rax, so pretty much all the damage he just did is going to be reverted in just a couple seconds. The Raxes do regenerate, or the melee barracks regenerates, but that's not really a huge deal for AlbumSheet. They took such a convincing fight. That was even after having 4 heroes getting hit with a Ravage. When you have that happen and you still take a fight, you gotta know that you're in a very comfortable position, especially when your Troll Warlord finds himself a 3rd double damage rune. They could group up as 5 and just go for it, knowing that Ravage is down. And it looks like that's going to be the name of the game. Inquisitor going to start things off by stealing some damage from this Tidehunter. He's going to get jumped on by Roy, but instantly to the BKB. Doesn't use his ultimate just yet. Has a mech as well. Bignum going to take the curse, which is pretty good for Inquisitor, as here comes No Fear with the Firefly looking for a lasso target. Got to be the Brewmaster, I think, or he's going to jump forward. He will get slowed down, but Force Staff out. He's going to try to kill off Lizard. Split has happened, plus the Thunder God Wrath. So AlbumSheet going to get hit pretty hard for now. The Bane is in the air. Inquisitor dropping pretty low. He's going to die, in fact. Where's everyone else? Pain finally arrives in this fight, getting focused onto the Tidehunter. They will bring him down. 3 down for the Bananas and Pajamas side as Roy does get focused down by the double damage. Chomi now into Shiva with the Fiend script. That's going to be another team wipe consecutively. I mean, it's not technically game, but Bananas and Pajamas, they lost that so hard, they might just want to tap out here.
Yeah, they focus so heavily on the Razor, and in the meantime, you have a double damage Troll Whirler just shredding everybody. I don't think this is gonna be stopped, and they'll just call GG before the barracks even fall.
A very clean 22-minute game from AlbumSheet. And Bananas and Pajamas, I think a lot of their problems stemmed back from the fact that their supports really didn't do anything. The Tidehunter had a really tough time, and even though their Slark was, you know, free farming it up with Hand of Midas, that's only going to get you so far when all the enemies are doing very, very well. So at the end of game number 1, AlbumSheet are going to take that one fairly easily.
Yeah, that's going to sum up game 1, but we will have game number 2 coming up shortly, so see you soon, and don't go anywhere as we're going to have more Dota, and even after the series, we are going to have another best of 2 later on in the evening, so plenty more to come on HeflaTV 1.